Good evening and welcome back to All Access News. I'm Alexa Beck.
And I'm Nick Allen. The Alamance County Sheriff's Office arrested a man for child sex crimes after receiving a tip in January. 36-year-old Daniel McLean was taken into custody on Friday, February 6th on 2 felony counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Authorities have been onto McLean for nearly a month after receiving a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. McLean appeared in court on Monday and is being held without bond in the Alamance County Detention Center.
Over the weekend, millions of Americans tuned into Super Bowl 60 to watch the Seattle Seahawks secure a victory over the New England Patriots. The Seahawks remained in the lead for the entire game, with all of the Patriots' points being scored in the final quarter. The final score was 29-13, and running back Kenneth Walker III was named as the MVP. As for halftime, this year's performance featured Grammy Award-winning artist Bad Bunny. Known for his Puerto Rican flair, Bad Bunny incorporated culture throughout his show, making it one to remember. Ricky Martin, Lady Gaga, and Pedro Pascal were just a few of the celebrities who made cameos in the performance. Here at HPU, students gathered around campus to watch the game, including a watch party that was held in the Pottle Cinema.
The U.S. Equal Employment Commission has fined Kickback Jacks $1.1 million for sex discrimination. According to the lawsuit, Kickback Jacks refused to hire male applicants for non-managerial front of the house positions. Across 19 locations, only 3% of employees were male. The Equal Employment Commission Chair, Andrea Lucas, said the EEOC is committed to even-handed enforcement and will hold employers accountable when they deny applicants opportunities because of their sex. Kickback Jacks has yet to release a statement on the case.
High Point University just wrapped up its annual Spring Family Weekend. Students welcomed their families to visit their home away from home, and some events and activities included a talk with Dr. Cubain, movies at the cinema, an a cappella concert, and campus walking tours. One of the highlights of the weekend was a men's basketball game where the team secured a victory over Radford University. Students were able to enjoy time with their loved ones, and it was surely a weekend to remember.
We are learning new information after Winston-Salem firefighters responded to multiple house fires on Sunday. Early Sunday morning, crews responded to the 5700 block of Polaris Road in Pofftown of a house fire, but no injuries were reported. However, 3 were displaced as a result of the fire. A few hours later, fire officials responded to a house fire on the 4200 block of Garden Street in Winston-Salem, but no injuries or displacements were reported. Later that evening, firefighters responded to a house fire on 1924 Bertha Street at 8:39 p.m. that caused by unattended cooking. Officials found 74-year-old Veronica Sawyer inside the home and was immediately transported to the hospital, where she later died from her injuries.
The High Point University Bateman team is partnering with the PRSSA Club to host a press release writing competition. The Bateman Case Study Competition is a national contest for public relations students where students are invited to create their own PR campaign. More than 75 teams compete in this competition, and HPU sends one team of students every year. This year's team consists of 6 students who have developed a campaign for Access Newswire, a press release distribution and communications platform. Their upcoming event with PRSSA will give students the opportunity to gain experience using this service. The event will be held on February 16th from 5 to 6 p.m. in NQSC 233, and students are encouraged to attend for the chance to win an Amazon gift card.
Well, we've seen quite a bit of snow over the last 2.5 weeks. Our Jake Gutman joins us to give us the forecast of what the weather looks like the rest of the week and if the snow will continue at all. What's going on, Jake?
Good evening, High Point. I'm Jake Gutman here with your 5-day weather forecast. Before we look ahead, let's talk about today, because this one deserves a moment. Today was the warmest day that we have seen in just about a month. High Point climbed into the mid to high 60s, and that's the first time we've hit that mark since January 11th. For a lot of us, it felt noticeably different stepping outside today, a little more sun and a little less bite in the air. And definitely a reminder that spring days like this still do exist no matter what the groundhogs say. We topped out right around 66 degrees, making today a clear standout after weeks of chilly below average temperatures. Moving into Wednesday, temperatures stay relatively mild, hovering near 60 degrees, but with a bit more cloud cover around. Now, by Thursday, we cool things back down into the high 40s, feeling much more like February again. On Friday, we drop a little bit more with highs around 50 degrees, but we do see some breaks of sun. And heading into Valentine's Day on Saturday, temperatures rebound slightly into the mid-50s with partly cloudy skies. Even with today's warmth, nights are still cold. Temperatures fall back into the 30s overnight, so the mornings do stay chilly. Now, while over the last 2 weeks, I am just so happy and grateful for the opportunity to play in some snow, I am just so excited for the sun to start coming back out. How do you guys feel about that?
I will say I was really happy today when it was warm outside and could enjoy the warm weather. I was happy that Puxatawny Phil was not right because it was warm out today.
Look, I would like to say I wish I knew it was going to be warm today, but I didn't check the weather, so I walked outside with a puffer jacket and sweatpants on, and I got to say I walked to class and I was a little sweaty.
You know, I did the same exact thing because this morning I was like, oh, it's cold, I got to wear my coat, but I was very happy when it warmed up later in the day.
Yeah, I had a 750 this morning, and it was a little chilly, and then it warmed up by the afternoon, and it was, I regret wearing the puffer jacket and the sweatpants, but thank you, Jake. After over 2 weeks, Forsyth County schools went back to school on Monday. Due to the major snowfall throughout the Piedmont Triad, Forsyth County schools have experienced over 10 days out of school. Schools missed so many days that they ran out of their 5 remote days and will have to make up the days that weren't remote in the summertime. Guilford County schools also were not in school for 2 weeks, but on Monday, schools in the county experienced a 1-hour delay and will go back to school for a full day tomorrow. The only county near the area that experienced a 2-hour delay today was Rockingham County Schools, as all other counties are fully back in school.
On Friday, the Milan Cortina Winter Olympics officially opened. The United States brought its largest Winter Olympic team with a total of 232 athletes. The team has officially won 2 gold medals so far, one in the women's downhill ski by Breezy Johnson and one in figure skating by Ilya Melanin. Check out NBC platforms for the latest Olympic updates.
Coming up after the break, a dad was arrested after leaving his child in the car to die. And one of the most influential hip-hop artists and my personal favorite music artist returned back to NCA&T on Saturday to sell CDs of his newest album.
And a heartwarming Valentine's Day story about 2 of our HPU alumni. Stay with us.
Email from school about the incident today.
Scary.
Tell me about it. Did you have any idea that was going on?
None. I mean, you saw Derek at the game last night, too. Did you have a clue?
No, but you know, teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do. Kids hear first about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
It can be hard to tell sometimes, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, bullying, violence, anything, you need to tell an adult. Mom or me, a teacher, coach, school counselor, someone you know and trust.
Dad, no kid is gonna tell an adult about that kind of stuff.
I get it, but if we don't know, we can't help. Speaking up about a problem, that's what helping a friend is all about.
We put our trust in professionals with years of training to help us lead healthy lives. We rely on them to do their jobs with diligence and dedication, because if they don't, our lives lives are on the line. Clean water is essential to survive. 98% of fresh water lies underground, which must be accessed by trained groundwater professionals. One trained groundwater professional can ensure the health of an entire community. Don't take clean water for granted. Learn how to protect our water at groundwater.okstate.edu.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords. Turn on multi-factor authentication. Update software and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to find. Get more game tips at CISA.gov/secure and share it with your family and friends.
We are learning new information in the arrest of Shaheem Dion Moore, the father who left his 4-year-old daughter to die in a car. Investigators say that last Tuesday they charged Moore with first-degree murder for the death of his child. He was also charged with intentional child abuse, inflicting serious bodily injury. The incident occurred on September 24th, and Moore has remained in the Guilford County Jail on a $250,000 bond. His bond was removed, though, after the new charges were filed.
Dancing with the Stars is coming to Greensboro. Next month, the pro dancers of the show are bringing their tour to the Stephen Tanger Center for the Performing Arts. Each of their tour stops will feature a different celebrity guest from the show, and the Greensboro performance will feature the Parent Trap star Elaine Hendricks. Today, the tour will visit its 14th stop out of over 50 cities. The tour has already brought in rave reviews and is described as more than just a dance show, as it features comedy as well. Tickets are on sale via Ticketmaster, but there is limited availability.
This past Thursday, Grammy award-winning rapper and North Carolina native J. Cole released his 7th studio album and possibly his last, The Fall Off. On Saturday, J. Cole surprised NCA&T students by stopping by the school and selling signed CDs of the Fall Off album out of the trunk of his car. Hundreds of students and fans lined up at the university to receive a signed album. It was a full circle moment for Cole, as NCA&T was the first place he sold physical copies of his early mixtapes for $1 out of the trunk of his Honda Civic. On Saturday, he used the same Honda Civic, just with the newer engine, to sell CDs.
We've been closely following the search for Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy. Zach Fisher is here with the latest developments in the investigation.
Alexa and Nick, the news that has taken the country by surprise is still ongoing. The search for today's show host, Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy Guthrie, has entered another week. It all started when 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie did not go to church last Sunday, and that's when all the speculation began. Since then, the 84-year-old's 3 kids have been begging and pleading for the return of their elderly mother. The 3 have released videos with their hands in unison, looking at the camera, tears in their eyes, and Guthrie saying, "Bring her home." After Guthrie released the videos, a bunch of supporters came to Savannah's sister Annie Guthrie's house. The sheriff declared that this is a crime this past week, and since then, local, state, and federal law enforcement have been on the case day and night. This past weekend, the family received letters from the suspects about the 84-year-old, which gave them a bit of hope. Savannah Guthrie posted on her Instagram story last week saying, quote, "We believe in prayer. We believe in voices raised in unison, in love, in hope. We believe in goodness. We believe in humanity. Above all, we believe in him," end quote. The sheriff also announced a $50,000 award after the FBI addressed the ransom letter in the case. Guthrie went to social media last night and told the public that her family is at a, quote, "hour of desperation," end quote. The reported kidnapper set a deadline of 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time last night. Earlier today, the FBI released security footage of a masked individual they believe is the suspect involved in this abduction. Let's see if Guthrie's family's prayers will be answered and Nancy Guthrie is returned back to her loved ones soon. Back to you guys.
In honor of Valentine's Day, we wanted to highlight an alumni couple who found love through HPU. Crystal and Ryan Cook met as HPU students in 1993. Crystal was a math major, class of 96, and Ryan majored in home furnishings, marketing, class of 95. They have a daughter named Eden who is 24 and married, and a son Lane who is 20. They have lived in nearby Lexington for 26 years, and this upcoming May they will be celebrating 30 years of being married. If you want to check out more stories like this, the HPU Alumni Instagram is sharing stories highlighting alumni couples all week.
Over the weekend, a fatal single-car crash in Winston-Salem left one dead and another seriously injured. Winston-Salem Police Department officers responded to a crash around 2 a.m. on Saturday on Indiana Avenue after the driver lost control of the vehicle for unknown reasons and struck part of a bridge. Upon arrival at the scene, officers found the single vehicle with 2 juveniles inside, both of whom had suffered serious injuries. The driver was transported to a local medical facility with serious injuries, and the passenger, 16-year-old Danian Piper, was killed in the crash.
New tonight, the North Carolina Department of Transportation announced that a new bridge will be built in Rockingham County. This new bridge will replace the current one that is at the end of its service life and will allow for wider shoulders and better vertical clearance. This news comes after an almost $3 million contract was awarded to Smith Row LLC by the NC Department of Transportation earlier this month. The bridge is expected to be open to traffic by spring 2027. Up next, a story about an unusual amount of birds rescued from a Greensboro home.
And the Big South Conference suspended a Winthrop women's basketball player after multiple punches were thrown. Plus, Peyton Yals joins us to give the update surrounding Panther Athletics. All that and more coming up next after the break.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams. If you get a phone call, do not talk to the person.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They will get your number when you call the plan.
Just hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you should not have done, you report it. Call the Senior Medicare Patrol.
If you suspect Medicare fraud, contact the Senior Medicare Patrol in your state.
Hey, I'm Mike Rope, here today to encourage you to connect with 811 before you dig. And I'm Mike Rowe, and I'm here because I love to dig in the dirt. It's true. He's also here because he's very small and not that bright. Here, for instance, we can see Micro doing what he loves to do. And here we can see the consequences of not doing what he should have done. Dude, why didn't you call 811? I forgot the number. See? Not that bright.
Well, I'm looking good. Thank you. Just became a real ID. What's the plan? Impromptu road trip? Actually, the plan is to fly to New York for today's product launch, and then visit the family in California and cap it off with a girls' weekend in New Orleans. You really can just do all that. Sure, I'm a real ID, so I'm good to board any domestic flight. Speaking of which, gotta fly. Nice. Enjoy. I'll be here.
Be your Real ID self today. To learn how, visit tsa.gov/realid or your local DMV.
When you reach for your prescription medications, you trust that the medicine is going to do what it's supposed to do, make you feel better. That trust comes from knowing that teams of doctors, biologists, chemists, pharmacists, and other health scientists at the FDA are working tirelessly to protect the health of the American public by making careful, informed decisions about which new drugs to approve. Find the answers at fda.gov/drugs.
Now to a developing story. Over 550 pigeons were recently rescued from a home in Greensboro. These birds were living in a cramped shed when rescuers found them, and many were underfed and in need of medical care. Guilford County Animal Services worked alongside Carolina Waterfowl Rescue to get them the care that they needed. They are currently looking for new homes for all of the birds, and in case you didn't know, pigeons make wonderful house pets and can live happily in a human home. If you are interested in adopting, please email adopt@cwrescue.org.
The Big South Conference suspended Winthrop women's basketball player Takara Johnson after throwing several punches on High Point's Nevaeh Zavala at the end of the game last Wednesday night. Johnson received an 8-game suspension, and High Point's Aaliyah Collins received a 1-game suspension for retaliating back on Johnson. With 13.6 seconds left and High Point up 86-72, a tangle up in the paint with Johnson and Zavala resulted in Johnson turning around and landing multiple strikes on Zavala. Zavala suffered a concussion from the punches and missed the Panthers' last outing against Radford. Big South Commissioner Sharika A. Montgomery released in a statement following the incident, quote, "The Big South Conference remains unwavering in its commitment to upholding the integrity of our competitors and ensuring accountability when our standards are not met," end quote.
High Point Market Authority is moving to a new headquarters location. The High Point Furniture Market welcomes over 75,000 guests to their world-renowned showrooms biannually. The market generates billions of dollars every year, supporting the local economy by providing jobs and bringing in tax revenue. The Market Authority is vital to the successful planning of market events, and this move to a new and larger space will support the organization's growth. The move will be complete sometime in 2027.
Now we toss it over to Peyton Yaus, who joins us tonight to give us the update surrounding High Point Athletics. Peyton, how you doing, man?
Hey, Nick. The spring sports season is officially underway as both the High Point men's and women's lacrosse teams opened their 2026 campaigns last week. The women's team took on number 14 Duke University on Friday, falling short against a talented Blue Devils team 14-6. Reese Gallo led the way for the Panthers on offense as the senior attacker scored 3 of High Point's 6 goals. The men's team squared off against VMI the following day, and they handled business against the Keydets, winning 19-11. 5 different Panthers scored multiple goals, including junior attacker Justin Wickstead, who scored 3 goals and dished out 6 assists. On the hardwood, the men's and women's basketball teams went up against Radford on Saturday, with the two teams having very different results. The women's team dropped its first conference game of the season, losing 72-57. Despite the loss, senior forward Anna Hager scored a career-high 26 points on 4 of 9 shooting from beyond the arc. However, the rest of the team shot just 2 of 16 from deep. The team is still an impressive 21-3 on the year, as well as 10-1 in conference play. The men's team, meanwhile, defended home court in an 86-77 victory played in front of a rowdy Cubane arena crowd during family weekend. In fact, the game set an attendance record of 7,202 people. The Panthers got contributions from across the board, with Owen Aquino recording a 17-point, 12-rebound double-double, and Terry Anderson pouring in a game-high 24 points. 5 different players scored in double figures, as Vincent Brady, Rob Martin, and Scotty Washington all notched double-digit point totals. All 4 teams will be back in action this week, as the men's and women's basketball teams will take on USC Upstate and Longwood respectively, while the men's lacrosse team will travel to UNC Chapel Hill on Friday, and the women's lacrosse team will host Campbell on Saturday. In addition to those 4, the HPU baseball team will open their season on Friday, hosting St. Joseph's in a 2-game set on Friday and Sunday, as well as Delaware on Saturday.
Yeah, Alexa, I don't know if you keep up with lacrosse. I surely don't, but you know who does? That guy right there. You called the game on Saturday, so how is this team looking this season?
Yeah, you can't pay too much attention to the result. At the end of the day, Duke is a top 15 team. Like I said, they're ranked number 14. 6 of the top 100 recruits in the recruiting class. They have the number 5 player. This is a very talented team. We mentioned Reese Gallo, Shannon Smith, Bella Germani, a number of talented players on this team, so I'm expecting a good season.
Well, if I want to know about lacrosse, I need to come to you. Also, women's basketball for a second. They lost last game. How are they going to bounce back next game?
Yeah, it starts with that 3-point shooting. We mentioned it, right? They just couldn't get it going from beyond the arc, but they have Macy Spencer, somebody who is 6th in the nation in 3, so I'm expecting a big performance for them in tomorrow's game.
Hey, that's a sports guy right there.
And as for men's basketball, were either of you at the family weekend game over the weekend?
Amazing.
The energy in the arena was great. It was so awesome to see all the parents.
How do you fit 7,000 people into a 5,000 person arena?
No, I know.
That's my question.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And hey, we got the W, so that's,
we did.
That's all.
We
that's
did.
what's important.
I think parents and students were all very happy, but thank you so much, Peyton.
Thank you, Peyton.
And now we are going to head over to Jake Gutman with a Wake Up Weather segment. Jake, what can you tell us about the weather tomorrow morning?
Thank you, Alexa. Before we wrap things up tonight, here is a quick look at what you can expect when you wake up tomorrow morning in High Point. From 6 to 8 a.m., it's going to be cloudy and cool with temperatures holding right around 50 degrees. Not much change early on, so plan on a jacket for the morning commute. From 9 to 10 a.m., temperatures slowly climb into the low 50s, but clouds do stick around. By late morning, 11 a.m. to noon, we start to see a little more warmth. Sun might start to peek out with temperatures reaching the mid to upper 50s. Clouds may thin a bit, but overall, it remains mostly cloudy. So when you step out the door tomorrow morning, expect a cloudy start, a slow warm-up, and no major weather issues to worry about.
Hey, well, you heard it from this guy. 9 and 10 a.m., 50 degrees. I will not be making the same mistake. I will be wearing possibly shorts and short sleeves, maybe a shirt and some sweatpants. What about you?
I mean, I'm glad that it's at least going to be in the 50s. Sad it's
Yeah.
not going to be another 70s type of day, but at least we're not back in the 20s and the 10s.
You don't want some snow?
I'm good. We've
Okay,
had enough.
okay.
We've had enough here in High Point, North Carolina.
That's fair.
But thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Alexa Beck.
Well, for all of us here at HPU All Access, I'm Nick Allen. You stay classy, High Point. See you next Tuesday.